Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming along to this session this morning, an introduction into the world of Power Apps. So bear me just 1 second. Okay, have we got everyone that we need, or Catherine, Imran, do you want to wait another minute or so, or should we get cracking?
We can probably give it another minute or so just to let people sort of join.
Okay, no worries. Yep, fantastic. Okay, well, in that case, guys, we're just going to give it 1 more minute, just to let other people jump on, but we will get cracking very shortly. Good morning, those of you who just joined. We're just going to give it just another 30 seconds or so just to let other people join, and then we're going to get cracking. Okie doke. Right, I think we should probably get started. Catherine, Imran, Andrew, you're right to start?
Yep, ready when you are.
Fantastic. Okie doke. So again, everyone, thank you so much for coming along to this session today as an introduction into Power Apps. Now, why are we talking about Power Apps at the moment? Well, we've seen a huge and dramatic shift in the workplace over the last 18 to 20 months. Lots of organizations are looking at their struggling workflows and really what they can do to modernize lots of areas of their business. Digital transformation for many businesses was, let's say, maybe a 3, 4, or 5 year plan. But we saw that last year that a lot of those digital transformation plans were transformed themselves from 5 year plans into 1 day plans. Lots of organizations, as we start to reach the tail end of this pandemic, they're looking about how they can work more efficiently, how they can work smarter. And for a lot of organizations, looking at again, digital transformation, automation, applications, again, could potentially be an answer to some of the struggles and challenges that businesses are facing. Now, this session is, of course, being recorded, so there will be a recording of this session that will be shared with you. But if you do have any questions as we're going through, please don't hesitate to take yourself off mute, shout out your question. I'll try my best to answer. If it's a question that I don't know the answer to, we'll park the question and we'll take it and we'll find the answer and we'll get back to you separately if that's okay. So, there is at the moment a real need for unified business management solutions. There is evidence that organizations recognize this need for a more holistic solution that can address their wants. And the below examples recognize that that for some fortunate organizations, their business is growing, but their systems can't keep up with that level of growth. We see that 54% of organizations struggle with the processes and system integration issues. We see that 50% of organizations think creation and configuration of reports is just way too complicated. And 50% of organizations want to replace outdated hardware and software to improve business performance. So from the surveys and the statistics that we've revealed here, there is a desire out there for organizations to improve the way that they're doing things. Now, when we talk about our customers, about these issues more deeply, we start to identify some of the perceived challenges that prevent them from making good steps forward to combat them, whether it be things like budget constraints or complex or paper-based processes, whether it's things such as changing business expectations. As you know, the business landscape, the business model is changing faster than ever before, and it's hard to meet those goals when that goalpost keeps shifting around at an incredibly fast rate. It could be due to lack of insights, lack of being able to track and measure performance, or it could be challenges around TCO, total cost of ownership, whether it be maintaining legacy systems, keeping up with the ever-growing security and compliance needs of the organization, or even leveraging existing technology. So because of these challenges, Microsoft introduced the Power Platform. Now, the Power Platform consists of four key components, four key products, if you will. Does anyone want to take a wild stab at what some of those products that exist in the Power Platform are? Does anyone have any ideas? No? Well, like I said, there are four key components that exist in the Power Platform. They are Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. And Microsoft created this Power Platform as a low or no code solution to the development of applications, whether it was automation, analytics, and with Power Virtual Agents having things like intelligent assistants, things like chatbots. And they use tools like the data connectors, AI Builder, and Common Data Service to achieve all of this. And before we go into Power Apps, I just want to take a little bit of time to explain some of those terms there at the bottom before we go into Power Apps, just so you've got a bit of understanding. Now, the first one I want to talk about is the Power Platform connectors. Now, these connectors provide built-in connectivity to over 270 cloud services, files, databases, web APIs, and so much more. So pretty much whatever it is you're looking to connect your service, your application to, throughout Power Platform's data connectors, you've pretty much got everything you need. It also offers seamless hybrid connectivity to on-prem systems via the on-prem data gateway. And you can also easily build your own custom connectors using tools like Postman, for example. There are a number of third-party tools that allow you to authenticate common data service instances and to compose and send web API requests and view responses, but Postman is definitely one of the most popular. Postman, for example, allows you to perform ad hoc queries to be able to verify the behavior of operations without actually having to write the program. So it does make things incredibly simple for people to connect their applications and services up to. That's the core message there. All of these connectors just making it incredibly easy to connect your services to. Now, there is also the Common Data Service. Now, the Common Data Service is a cloud-scale database used to securely store data for business applications built on Power Apps. Now, the Common Data Service is an abstraction on top of the underlying Azure Cloud Data Management Services to make it easier to build business applications. And the Common Data Service provides not just the data storage, but a way to implement business logic that enforces business rules and automations against the data. Now, Common Data Service databases are created in the context of a Power Apps environment. Each environment can only have a single Common Data Service database, and Common Data Service databases can be provisioned by you or by licensed individuals within your organization to support their custom applications. And it's easier if you think of it as a common language that Microsoft apps and services use to communicate with one another. And if you can learn it, you can write your own applications that share in one of Microsoft's biggest advantages in a company, and that is how well their applications work together. Now, I know I've gone into a lot of stuff there. I've tried to keep it at a relatively high level, but does anyone have any questions around common data service, premium connectors? All pretty good. To be honest, you probably don't need to worry about this stuff so much. This is kind of more for maybe pre-sales and maybe more of your technical people that would have to deal with this. But if anyone has any questions, please fire away. Nope. Okay, no worries. So let's talk about Power Apps. So before I jump into all the great stuff that you can do with Power Apps, I do just have a short video which I would like to show you quickly, just to introduce Power Apps. Let me just make sure my system audio is switched on. Okay, so this video just to introduce Power Apps. Have a quick look at this.
These days, many of us are learning new ways to work. Smarter, faster, getting more done in less time. In many instances, thanks to Microsoft Power Apps, the world's most complete low-code application development platform. Now everyone has the power to create innovative applications that automate and improve processes they use every day, quickly, with intuitive Microsoft tools, pre-built templates, and drag-and-drop simplicity. Power Apps makes it easy to seamlessly connect to hundreds of business systems and databases right out of the box, like SAP, Oracle, Workday, and Salesforce. It automatically standardizes all kinds of different types of data across your organization to unlock data silos, too, making it easy to build apps that work efficiently across different departments and divisions. So, say if Allie in accounting builds an app that updates and autofills customer data in any forms you use, sales can use it. Warehousing, logistics, legal, marketing, even HR. It's easily available for anyone in your entire organization. And if you want to take your apps to the next level, you can add advanced functionality, from AI and analytics to chatbots, interactive maps, external portals, mixed reality, IoT, and more. Power Apps is designed to work with the world's most popular development tools and platforms, so professional developers can jump code first into low-code projects while collaborating and scaling innovation on Visual Studio, GitHub, and even Azure. And you maintain governance and compliance with a single administrative console. So, if you're ready to transform more of your business ideas into business solutions, do it today. The possibilities are literally unlimited with Microsoft Power Apps.
Okie doke. So a lot of key points mentioned in that video. One of the key takeaways that I recognized from that video is that Power Apps can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. Whether you want to use things like Canvas apps, being able to create applications almost in like a wizard where you can drag and drop boxes, check boxes, all kinds of stuff, and just build it almost like a PowerPoint presentation in some ways, just by clicking and dragging certain things into the application. Or if you are an experienced developer or coder, you can jump code first into this application and start building really complex customized applications. So it really does span quite a wide skill gap from, again, people that are relatively limited in application development, or whether it's someone that wants to use it as a serious development tool. That's one of the questions we always get asked about Power Apps. Is this a serious development tool? Well, the answer is simply yes, it is. It is a serious development tool. But if you are someone who isn't as skilled in app development, you can just use things like the WYSIWYG interface, WYSIWYG standing for what you see is what you get, and just being able to build it out that way. So again, it is incredibly flexible with what it offers customers. So Power Apps, like we said, does bring this low code approach to building applications. So what does it allow us to do? Well, it allows you to build standalone web or mobile apps, or customize existing applications in Office 365 or Dynamics 365. So again, being able to customize those applications, taking things within Outlook or within Teams or even things such as some of the other applications, things like approvals, for example, in Teams, and build out your own customized applications built on Office 365. How do you add your data into these apps? Well, you can connect your existing data with those pre-built connectors, those premium connectors we spoke about earlier, or you can connect your data to data that is pre-existing already in Office 365. Another question, is it secure? Well, yes, it is secure. It's maintained some of the highest standards of enterprise grade governance and security. Everything that Microsoft does within cloud-based services is bound by all the same standards of security and compliance. And as some of you will know, Microsoft is known as the world's most trusted and most compliant cloud, again because of those high standards of security and compliance that it meets, more than a lot of other public cloud organizations. And then that question there, is it a serious app development tool? And like I said, it's one of those myths that you hear. Is Power Apps a real tool, or is it just a gimmick, or for those who are, you know, a little bit tech savvy? Well, Power Apps, like I said, has pro developer extensibility that enables quite literally a no limits platform, meaning it's users spanning from, again, just business users, kind of like people, again, like don't have a huge amount of experience, right up to professional developers. So like I say, it's incredibly broad in terms of the market we can reach with this tool. Now, one of the places that a lot of people get started with Power Apps is utilizing Canvas apps. Now, I mentioned this earlier. Now, Canvas apps allows you to create your own custom apps using drag and drop controls. And it uses this WYSIWYG editor, and like I said, WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. So there's no coding in this. Literally, you'd be dragging and dropping images and text and buttons and switches and all sorts directly onto the application, and the way that it looks on the designer is the way that it's going to look in the application. Now, using this, depending on what you're building your application for, you can also leverage native mobile phone resources. So if you're building a mobile app, you can leverage things such as GPS, cameras, audio, recording capabilities directly into your application. You can easily deploy or publish or share new versions of your apps with other organization users. You can build highly customized task and role-based Canvas apps with data from one or multiple sources. And you can consume fully accessible applications across web, mobile, embedded or standalone on any device. So again, the Canvas apps, this is where, again, a lot of people get started because it is probably the simplest place to start building and developing your apps. Now, why would someone want to do this in the first place? Now, we mentioned at the beginning that there are some workflows that are inefficient, to say the least. Workflows that are inefficient, workflows that are broken in some senses. Take, for example, an existing solution. And this would be a great example of using Power Apps for an app migration. Now, this employee attendance app has been built in SQL. And maybe many of us have used maybe time tracking solutions that look similar to this. And whether we're used to seeing SQL apps or maybe Excel spreadsheets, for many businesses, this is still a requirement. And as familiar as the sheet is, the challenges it causes, again, are all too familiar as well. They include a UI that requires a lot of time and effort to learn, poor integration with the organizational workflow, and generally just being difficult to improve. So again, we've got that clunky UI, no workflow, it's outdated, potentially has security concerns. So this is an example of an organizational workflow that frankly is no longer fit for purpose. Maybe 5-10 years ago, yeah, this was fantastic, but the world has moved on since then. People need something more dynamic, more streamlined. And this could be a great example of how the Power App solution could be made to easily solve these challenges, and adding a secure and simple, versatile app that can be accessed from anywhere on a PC, on a laptop, tablet, mobile phone, across different platforms, to make sure that we can not only solve the challenges, but leverage our existing hardware as well. And that is really the core of this topic. Power Apps is about finding a workflow that is suffering due to a lack of modernization and then solving that problem. And using Power Apps doesn't require a degree in computer science. Like I said, it's not designed for only people that are pro developers, but at the same time, Power Apps isn't so simple that just anyone could do it either. And this obviously makes it an ideal service opportunity for guys such as yourselves. You will have customers out there that will have outdated and antiquated workflows, processes, possibly a serious lack of automation within their workplace, and maybe not the skills in-house to even do things like Power Apps, even using some of the more simple solutions. Sorry, one second, it needs a cough here. Oh, excuse me. So again, that does really open a huge opportunity for you guys to potentially go out and do those exploratory calls with your customers, really gain an understanding of where their pain points and challenges lie with their existing workflows and processes, and then put on your thinking caps to think how you could use the Power Platform, whether it be Power BI, Power Automate. A lot of you will know Power Automate was previously known as Microsoft Flow, but now it's Power Automate, or even Power Apps, to meet some of those challenges that customers are facing. So as an opportunity for consultancy development, this is potentially a huge one. Now, I do just want to talk about licensing as well, because this is probably one of the more confusing elements of Power Apps that people have. Now, a lot of you will know that there are different plans. There's Plan 1 and there is also Plan 2. Now, Plan 1 is included in most M365 subscriptions. So if you've got things such as Business Basic, Business Standard, Business Premium, E3 or E5, that includes the Power Apps Plan 1. Now, if you don't have one of those M365 subscriptions, you can buy Power Apps Plan 1, and it's around £3.80 per user per month. Now, the thing is, with Plan 1, it utilizes Office 365 data. So you can use basically the data within M365. If you're looking to develop applications within Outlook, within Teams or other Office 365 applications, you can absolutely do so, because effectively Plan 1 does not include, you'll see at the bottom, it doesn't include the premium data connectors, and it also doesn't include the common data service. This means that with Plan 1, you wouldn't be able to connect your applications and services up to third-party sources like Salesforce, for example. You wouldn't be able to do that with Plan 1. You could only create applications based around data that already exist in Office 365. Okay, so that is your limitation. You can use non-premium connectors though. Some third-party services might have connectors which you can use for free, but you'll have to investigate which ones those are. You can also use Plan 1 to build out your Canvas apps that we just looked at, and build applications that do have offline capabilities. So again, people being able to use those apps offline on their mobile devices. And Plan 1 does include data policy, security and governance controls as well. So you do get a lot in the Plan 1 plan. But again, you are limited to building applications that exist solely within your Office 365 infrastructure. It wouldn't be able to be expanded out. If you were looking to build an application that connected to something else, something outside of Office 365, maybe something like SQL or Dynamics, or maybe something like SAP or Salesforce, then you would need to look at Plan 2. Now, apologies for the US pricing on here. We can get you the UK pricing, but there's two different plans here. There is the per app plan, which, as you can see, is around $5 per user per month, and that allows you to run a single app or a single portal. So basically, you pay your license per application. Now, with these Plan 2 plans, it allows you to use either pre-built or custom or premium connectors. It allows you to use things like the common data service as well. So the things that you're not going to get in Plan 1. Now, the other plan over here where it says per user plan, you can see that is a lot more expensive because that is unlimited. That allows you to have an unlimited amount of portals or applications within that plan. Okay, so just to summarize, Plan 1 allows you to have applications, but only applications built within Office 365. Plan 2 allows you to build those applications outwards using premium connectors and the common data service. You can pay for it per application, or you can have an unlimited plan, which again is a lot more expensive, but again, you wouldn't be limited on the amount of applications you can build and deploy. Any questions on licensing? I know Power Apps licensing isn't the easiest thing to get your head around, but does that kind of make sense between the difference between Plan 1 and Plan 2? Does anyone have any questions on that? No, you all good? Okie doke. Now, when you're using Plan 2, you get the option to build more than just Canvas apps. You're able to build things such as model-driven applications. And model-driven applications start with your data model, building up from the shape of your core data and processes in the common data service to model forms, views, and other components. And model-driven apps are used to quickly generate a great UI that is responsive across devices. So again, being able to build out, like we've got an example of this application here, which is around fundraiser donations. Again, this application, which can be easily accessed across different devices and giving us up-to-date information, and being able to connect these model-driven apps to whatever your data source is, whether it be something like SQL or Oracle, for example. The other type of application that you get available to you within Plan 2s are Power App portals. Now, Power App portals allow organizations to be able to create websites which can be shared with external users to their organization, either anonymously or through a login provider of their choice, like LinkedIn or their Microsoft account, Twitter or Facebook or other commercial providers. So again, if you wanted to create a portal for your customers to be able to visit and access services and access data, again, you can use Power App portals to build effectively your custom website for that. And again, Power App portals and model-driven applications and Canvas apps can be done in Plan 2, whereas in Plan 1, you can only really do the Canvas apps. So why is this important? Why are we talking about Power Apps at the moment? Well, like we said at the beginning, 65% of organizations report an app development backlog. The fact that IT can't deliver apps fast enough, and businesses don't have the solutions they need to provide differentiated, streamlined customer experiences. 37% of organizations are still using paper to manage critical business processes. And businesses undertake, again, those time-consuming paper processes. And the problem with that is they're unsustainable. They're prone to errors. It can result in manual data entry. And again, that takes an incredible amount of time and really not a very efficient way of working at all. And 67% of CIOs and tech leaders say that an IT skill shortage is preventing them from being able to keep up with that pace of change. It's becoming harder for IT to respond to requests, and it slows down innovation and change, and of course increases that backlog. So again, this does present that opportunity for you guys as partners to be able to help organizations identify those areas within their organizations where they are struggling, and potentially suggest plans around automation and application processes to again expedite some of these services like paper-based or manual data entry processes to again make them more streamlined, more efficient. And from a revenue perspective, from the fact that if you've got these skills in house to be able to build and develop and deploy these applications on behalf of the customer, manage that application on behalf of that customer, again, that is going to add to the recurring revenue that you can get from your customer base. Now, a quick question for anyone here and anyone who fancies answering: are any of your customers out there already using anything within the Power Platform, whether it be BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, or Flow? Has anyone got any customers they're aware of that are already using these processes? No? Well, if that's the case, if none of you have any, that means there is a huge opportunity out there. So I would highly suggest, again, speaking with some of your top managed accounts and really having that conversation about work processes. What are their pain points? What is the most pain in the backside thing that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis? And then look at whether an app or some form of automation could make that process simpler, that could relieve the pain that it causes. So that is an action for you guys, to speak to your top managed accounts and really do that exploratory call around where their pain points currently lie. And Power Apps does drive business transformation, increasing ROI. I mean, using this Forrester study, which was commissioned in March last year, we saw that ROI over 3 years utilizing Power Apps is around 188%, a 74% reduction in app development costs over traditional coding services. And again, getting in app developers, that's expensive. So could something like Power Apps be a more cost-effective solution for businesses that do want to continue to build and maintain and manage applications within their organizations? Could this be a way they could save money? And in terms of employee productivity improvement, again, we've seen around 3.2 hours of productivity improvement per week across line of business employees. Because regardless of industry, every organization is trying to do one thing. They're trying to drive constant value generation. It's been that way since the first business or organization of any kind was formed. Value generation is a foundational element, and the purpose of digital transformation is to simplify a process to help your organization find new ways of generating value. And probably one of the biggest mistakes or traps that we see again time and time again is that people try to create new value by looking at buying new technology as the answer. There is this idea that if we just use more technology, we'll see things improve. But from our point of view, it's that digital transformation is first and foremost about how we can better engage with our customers and how we can simplify those processes. Simply just adding on more technology isn't necessarily going to be the answer. The fact that Power Apps is included with the majority of the licenses that your customers already have, they already have the licenses there to already begin this journey. They don't necessarily need to go out and buy additional or new licenses or new tools or new tech. For many of your customers, they will already have a Plan 1 license, which is a great jumping off point. It's a great way to show them that potential value to get them started. And once they see what Power Apps can do with something like Plan 1, which again is ring fenced within your M365 estate, but once they see the value that it can bring, perhaps then there is that upsell opportunity. The fact that customers will think, okay, well, this is great, but I want to take it further. Let's look at the per app plan, or let's look at the unlimited plan. We want to go nuts. So again, it is a great opportunity. And like I said, the fact that a lot of your customers are probably already licensed for this, it's a great way to pick up the phone and see what you can do to help that customer utilize those services. So, and again, looking at some of the bless me, looking at some of the challenges that maybe your customers are potentially dealing with. So things such as increased IT maintenance, low staff efficiency and productivity, maybe a long lead time to market. We can see how Power Platform could be used as a solution. Again, a lot of the key things that we've already spoken about, the reduction of time, bringing things like time to market down, being able to integrate applications, improving productivity, automating workflows across Office and Teams, creating a more centralized hub for teamwork, being able to solve business problems, not potentially needing professional developers to incorporate advanced functionality. So there is a lot of areas where the Power Platform, again, not just Power Apps, but Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, can come in to help really present what is a great opportunity for customers. Now, I'd like to show you a quick customer case study, a fictional customer case study of how Power Apps could be used. So have a quick look at this. Let me just make sure my system audio is still on. It is. Okay, have a quick butchers at this.
Meet Olivia, a sales manager with an idea to help her store teams sell smarter. She wants to create an app for her store associates that will quickly surface key information to drive higher sales and a better customer experience. With no coding experience, Olivia uses Microsoft Power Apps to easily build this app herself. She wants her app to automatically put data-driven customer recommendations at her associates' fingertips while out on the sales floor. She can start from many pre-built templates or build the app from scratch. Either way, she can completely customize it to her unique needs. Olivia can connect to all the data she needs by leveraging the large library of connectors or use the powerful common data service that comes with Power Apps out of the box. She adds business logic to surface relevant customer information faster and adds barcode scanning to the mobile app before securely sharing it with her store teams. Casey, a top sales associate, is energized by how the new app helps her upsell merchandise. With the new mobile app, she is able to easily scan product barcodes while interacting with customers. The scan quickly surfaces related catalog items that may be of interest. After discussing these additional products, Casey identifies the customer and the app uncovers promotional discounts available if adding these items. Delighted by the offer, the customer agrees to purchase everything. Casey closes the sale and an automated email is sent to the customer with detailed product information. A bigger sale, a happier customer. Meanwhile, Olivia, back at headquarters, can track in real time how the app is increasing upsells via her interactive Power BI dashboard. Turn bright ideas into brilliant apps. Transform manual and outdated processes overnight with Microsoft Power Apps.
Fantastic. So we saw in that video, again, some really good examples, again, utilizing again things like the common data service, custom connectors. So we can probably assume that from that, Olivia in that video was probably using the per app plan. She only had that one single application that they were running across the stores. So we can assume that it was per app that she was probably using with that. Now, she wouldn't have been using the plan one because, again, plan one limits you to building apps that work on your Office 365 data that wouldn't be able to connect to outside sources. So again, out of the box, things like the common data service and stuff is included with plan two. So in terms of the partner opportunity, and again, what really Power Apps offers, again, it offers that pro extensibility. So like we mentioned right at the beginning, there are no cliffs. There is no kind of end to how far you can take Power Apps development. Whether you want to do something simple like Olivia in that video where we saw her just building a application using the Canvas apps interface, or whether you're an experienced coder that wants to bring code into Power Apps, again, you can absolutely do so. So again, no cliffs. You can take this as far as you want. You can, again, use that world-class data platform with the common data service. Again, it is designed for remote work. And again, think about how many of your customers right now are transforming their business models to bring more flexible, remote, hybrid working opportunities to their staff. We've seen lots of organizations over the last 20 months begin to downsize. People, again, not necessarily coming back to the office at all in some cases. Some people are going to be working remotely from here on out. Could the development of certain applications, again, alleviate some of the stresses of legacy workloads, which aren't really going to work in this new mobile world that we live in? It is something which is trusted by IT departments. Again, it is all built on a familiar infrastructure. And of course, with the built-in intelligence as well, it can give you all of the business intelligence and data to track performance and the effectiveness of your application. So Power Apps is a cross-workload solution. The partner opportunity is, of course, to help customers reduce costs and leverage their existing talent and to accelerate application development. Now, SMBs have a smaller, or in some cases, no dedicated IT teams. And as a result, they can struggle with the resource required to keep up with the pace of change needed to support the growth of the business and the needs of employees. And small organizations still have the needs for various types of software, things like HR, sales, operations, customer service, and in some cases will purchase off the shelf for these processes, but often only use a small portion of that functionality. And again, I'm sure a lot of you may have customers that have bought off the shelf products where they're only maybe using a fraction of what that off the shelf software can do. Again, couldn't it be better ROI for the customer if they could build an application that just does the thing that they need it to do, rather than buying something super expensive where they're not really using all of it? So the various solutions all need to be separately maintained and integrated when customers are buying these off-the-shelf solutions, which again, it just adds to that cost and complexity, and development needs can become backlogged, and professional developer talent as well. It's scarce and it's expensive, and custom software for some smaller businesses is just untenable. And low code, bringing these low code applications, again, it just enables organizations and employees, and again, regardless of their technical ability, to use the skills and the application experience that they have to create digital solutions that can really fit around their business needs. And the low code apps and automation market is growing fast. It is a rising opportunity. And like we saw earlier on that slide, over 3 years, we can see ROI increase to around 188%. And like I said, from a partner opportunity, this is something which a lot of partners are starting to offer. And it is because it is something that customers are looking for at the moment. So again, if Power Apps is not something that you are currently looking at within your own organization, in terms of development, deployment, consultancy, anything like that, absolutely get on this. Honestly, the train is leaving the station with this one. There is a huge opportunity out there, and obviously we want you guys to get on it as quick as possible. So let's talk about some of the conversation starters. And just before, I've just got these stats here again. Again, just really using Power Apps. 86% of Fortune 500 companies are already using Power Apps. 50% year-on-year growth for SMB customers who are using the Power Platform, and Power Apps year-on-year revenue growth is ×5 what it originally was. So again, all the evidence shows us that this is a fast growing market. So what can we say to customers to get these conversations going? Well, this isn't an exhaustive list of everything we can ask a customer, but there are a few key ones in here. Do you have any manual processes that could be, or that you should, or you think should be automated or modernized? So a pretty kind of, you know, straight in there with that question. Could your business be more effective if you had apps to be more efficient? Do you have data, but you're unsure of how to utilize and visualize it? Are your teams able to stay productive and efficient with your existing tool set? So these are just some examples of what we could use. But again, you're going to know your customers far better than I, and probably will be able to think of much more probing questions. But as a starter for 10, here are 4 that you can use just to get that conversation going. Now, of course, there will always be questions around Power Apps. A lot of myths exist around Power Apps. So I just want to do a little bit of myth busting right here. So the first myth is that Power Apps is for only building mobile applications, but in reality, Power Apps is for building cloud applications that work across devices. So no, that myth is not true. It is not just for building mobile apps, whether it's on laptops, desktops, web apps, phones. Again, doesn't matter. Power Apps is only good for building basic functionality apps, but not for building sophisticated and complex apps. Once again, you probably know the answer to this because we talked about that no cliffs extensibility, the fact that you can take it as far as you want. And this answer here, Dynamics 365 apps are built within Power Apps, and those are very complex and sophisticated applications. They are. But again, Power Apps can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. If you are a professional coder or app developer, you can use the tools in Power Apps to build out the most complex apps you can possibly think of. There's no partner opportunity on Power Apps because it is for business users to make their apps on their own. So okay, now again, I've heard this one quite a few times, and again, I kind of addressed this earlier. This whole no code application conversation. Again, a lot of people think, well, what's the opportunity for me as a partner if it's so easy that customers can do it on their own? Why do they need me? Now, again, the answer there is business users will not be able to build complex apps. But to be honest, even building out the basic Canvas apps, I wouldn't say that anyone could do it. It is quite straightforward, and a majority of us, I mean, we do work in the tech industry, so you know that does give us a bit of a leg up. But a lot of your customers will have nothing really to do with tech. That's not what their business is about. And even though building Canvas apps is relatively straightforward and simple, for someone with no tech experience at all, it's going to be incredibly difficult. So no, there absolutely is a partner opportunity, not just for the complex apps, but also for the more simple apps. Sometimes people would just rather hand that work over. Maybe they don't have the time or the skills to be able to do it. They would much rather you as a partner did it for them, that they give you the specifications of what they want and you take it away and build it for them. So don't worry about this answer here saying we'll not be able to build complex apps. Again, even simple apps present a partner opportunity. Power Apps only make sense for Dynamic 365 ISVs. Well, no, most of the apps that are built within Power Apps are not dependent on Dynamics 365 at all. I mean, yeah, you can build applications that are built on Dynamics, absolutely. But no, that's not true at all. There is no dependency. Power Apps only works with Dynamics. Nope, that's not true either. Power Apps is a cross workload solution. And again, as you saw right at the beginning, when we saw things like the common data service and all of those premium connectors, again, you can connect Power Apps out to, what do we say, over 270 different products, different cloud sources. And Power Apps can only be used for building net new applications and not for enhancing existing applications. Well, no, again, Power Apps, you can use it for for advancing existing applications. So within tools within M365, you're able to build applications that are built with on top of things such as Outlook, or applications that are built on top of Teams, or some of the applications that exist within Teams, like approvals and stuff like that. So no, you can absolutely enhance existing solutions utilizing Power Apps. So I know I've probably thrown a fair amount of stuff at you over the course of this session, and again, Power Apps is quite a deep topic, and because of the nature of the product, the fact that it exists as part of the Power Platform, which again is 4 core products, the fact that Power Apps can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be, that does make it an incredibly broad topic. But the idea of this session was just to kind of give you an overview of really what the customer opportunity is and really what you can do with Power Apps. Now, of course, if you do want to learn more, there is a whole host of solutions out there. So again, this presentation will be shared with you. All of these are clickable links, so you can click on each of these links. So again, lots of information for learning more about Power Apps. If you want to learn about building applications, there is a Build an App in a Day course, which is offered every so often. You'll have to check the link for dates, but again, it does a really good training session, again, showing how you can really get started with Power Apps and within one day be skilled with building things like Canvas apps, deploying, managing, connecting, all of that stuff. So some really good things that you can do there. So that is about it from me for this session. I would like to throw the floor over to you guys if you have any questions whatsoever about anything that we've gone through in this session.
Morning, Ed.
Hello.
Quick for you, just in more about real world. Thank you for the sort of where the app sort of fits in that shop. What have you come across as real world situations where customers are asking for it?
So some of the ones that I've seen are things such as HR, booking holidays. So I've seen some organizations where their HR department has basically been utilizing legacy tools like Excel and stuff like that for tracking holidays and staff time off, bookings and approvals. So that's one of them, holidays. One of the other ones I've seen is for expenses as well, when people
I mean, those two markets are very, very heavily app orientated already, and we come from, we're a Sage partner, so that I'm fully aware of that sort of side. So I'd always promote something that's a lot more out of the box and trying to write something that way. So I'm trying to find something like a more of an interesting one.
Okay, let me have a look. So I was looking at some stuff earlier. Let me see if I can. So expenses, service requests as well is another popular one. So for IT, for people wanting to log a service request with their IT departments.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the other ones which we've seen is around the pandemic and a return to workplace application as well. Now, again, I don't know what the current state of your customers is, but when some customers have been going back to the office, they have got limited space. They still want to maintain social distancing and everything. They don't want the office getting too crowded. So some businesses have built a return to workplace app where people have to book a desk before they come back. So if they want to come in for the day, they've got to book a desk. They can see the capacity, they can see how many desks are available, and they can book a seat for the day.
Yeah.
So hot desking effectively. What else? That's all I can think of at the moment. I'll have a good think, because they're honestly, there are so many out there. And to be honest,
it's trying to find the USP into it. So if I was to put an advert out to our customer base and say, do you know what, guys, this is what you could do, expenses, time management, as I said, there's already too many web-based solutions out there that integrate really well with
why not almost survey your customers? I mean, you could almost do a survey in terms of what would you want.
Yeah, we've tried that before. You get zero back. So, but you have to drag them to do something, or have to have that USP that touches the point. Whereas you start asking questions, they don't know. So yeah, I love the idea. Don't worry, I'm not trying to be negative, but yeah.
No. I know. I get it.
I'm trying to think of a USP to hook somebody in to go. Tell you what, yeah, why?
Oh, what was that?
I was just trying to find that hook. So some sort of, if we put out a quick e-shot, what would be the quick half a second you've got to catch somebody's attention to explain that you can't just put power ups. Doesn't really have any value.
Of course, no. No, absolutely, and that's it. I guess that's the key, isn't it? I mean, just finding that USP, that wow factor. And obviously, we're on a public call at the moment, so don't tip your hand too much. But I'm sure everyone else is probably thinking along the same lines as yourself. Again, what is that unicorn application that we could possibly think of, that with that, like you said, that few seconds that we've got to get that customer's attention, that they think, wow, that's something that I need. So there you go. There's another takeaway to get your thinking caps on and have a think about some examples. Do you guys
have any marketing collateral, or it's all just straight off Microsoft site?
It's all Microsoft site.
Yeah.
But if you I was just having a quick look around just while we were talking, and there's loads of websites out there where if you type into like Google or something like Power Apps best practices or best use case examples. Now, I'm not saying just use one of those, but maybe looking at some of those, it could inspire you to maybe take something to the next level, or maybe inspire another idea. So that's I would say use some of the online resources of existing examples.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Ed.
Hey, no worries. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Nope. Okie doke. Well, that is it from me. I don't know if anyone from Bytes, Imran, Catherine, Andrew, anything in closing before we tie a bow in this?
Just there is a Power Apps plan promotion running at the moment from Microsoft, which is a minimum 200 users or 200 apps. So any questions around that, happy to assist with that. But it is available in our portal and on the price list as well. So in case anyone wants to start rolling this out, definitely look at utilizing the promotion while it's there.
Fantastic. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's about it. So I'd say just the actions on you guys going forward again is to potentially have a think about some of your customers. If you work closely with, again, some of your key managed accounts, if you know of any potential solutions, or even any solutions that they're currently using, maybe expensive third-party software, which again they're not utilizing to its full extent. Maybe there are some workflows that you could consolidate into things like Power Apps. So it's a lot of stuff to think about. Please do use the online resources, the links in this presentation, which will be sent out to you. And again, have a look at some of the best practices as well. There's loads of really innovative and interesting ways organizations are using Power Apps, and maybe you can draw some inspiration from that, which you can then carry forward to your customers. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming along to this session. I hope you found it useful and valuable, just to get that good overview of really what Power Apps is and what it can do. If you do have any questions moving forward, please reach out to the great team at Bytes. Again, they've got loads of resource and loads of support for you guys. So you're not on your own in this. So please reach out if you need anything. But that's it from me. So again, thank you very much for attending. I'm sure we'll be doing more sessions on different topics in the future. So hopefully I'll get to speak to you all again soon. But until then, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. See you, everyone.
Cool. Thanks, Ed.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you.